Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. On today's episode, we're gonna discuss everything about cabin crew scheduling. Where do we fly? Do we get to request destinations? Do we get days off? How many hours do we fly in each month? So if you're interested to find out the answers to those questions, just keep on watching. First of all, we don't get our schedules on a daily basis. It is given to us on a monthly basis. So for example, every 21st of the month or 23rd of the month, it varies among airlines. So for example, on my previous airlines, as I remember, we receive it every 23rd of the month or 21st, but something like that. And we get what we call a monthly roster. And then on this roster, like what I'm gonna show you right here, we will see what flights we're gonna do, how many flights in a day, the destinations, how many days off are we gonna get, 4 blocks of days off, and how many hours we're gonna fly on each month. Sometimes passengers would come up to me in the flight and they would ask me, is this the only flight that you would do? And sometimes I'm confused on how I would answer this question, especially in the beginning of my flying career. But later on, I started to understand that for them, maybe they're thinking that the flight attendants that they see on board that aircraft flies together every day, the whole month, and we just do the same sector, like for example, Doha, Manila, and that's the only flight that we would do for the entire month. I understand that there could be this misconception, but no, we fly to different destinations. Yeah, we don't just do one certain destination for an entire month. We just don't do Europe for an entire month. We don't just do Asia for an entire month. But it could happen. It could happen if you request for those flights. So yes, to answer that question, we can request flights. So now it's September. So it means that the schedule for this month has already been released last month. So you will get a chance to bid for flights or days off. Just to make it simple, you can bid for days off or flights for the month of October. So it's up to you where you want to go. Like for example, for me, before when I was still flying, I would request number one always would be Manila. I would request for Manila, and then I would request for one ultra long haul flight, which is usually USA, because I like to do long stretch flights. That way I fly lesser. And then I bid for one European destination and one Asian destination, and just a random destination that I would like to go to on that month. Like what I said, I usually bid for a US flight, and this one right here is to Houston, and that's already 16 hours and 14 hours for coming back. And also I requested for Manila, and I got 2. I requested for Manchester, and on that particular month I wanted to go to Birmingham, and I got that as well. So that is not actually bad at all. For you to get 4 out of 5 is a very, very good roster. How many days off do we get in a month? Legally, in the airline that I worked for, so just to make it simple, okay, I'll just make it simple, because if I go into the complete details of this one, it's gonna be very confusing for you. So just to make it simple, you need 8 days off in a month, or at least 24 days off every 3 months. So let's say you have 8 days off for this month, and then the following month you have 7 days off. On the third month, you should have 9 days off. Okay, that's just a very simple explanation, but there is a calculation for that as well. But yes, just to make it simple, you need 8 days off in a month. Now, can you put all those 8 days off together? For some airlines, you could do that, but for the airline that I used to work for, we can only do maximum based on the requesting, or when you are bidding, you can request for maximum of 4 days off, as you can see on this one, this example that I have right here. Maximum 4 days when you are bidding. But has it ever happened that flight attendants get like 7 or 5? Yes, that is with complete luck. Have I experienced that before? I think The longest days off that I got was 5 days. 5 days off. Yeah, I only requested for four and then I got five. And I felt very lucky. What you could also do is you could request for early arrivals and late departure so that when you have 4 days off, you can like stretch it. So here, from here on, I'm gonna go and show you the roster, an example of the roster, and I will explain it to you in detail. You a while ago, and as you can see, I fly to different destinations. That is, for this month, I have Milan, Kuwait, Zanzibar, Madrid, Athens, Bangkok, Milan again, and Shanghai. And as you can see, it's not really written Milan for Milan, Kuwait for Kuwait, because these are what you call airport codes. So as a flight attendant, you have to familiarize yourself to these airport codes as well. You don't really need to memorize them, but the important thing is for you to be familiar so that once you see them on your roster, you would at least figure out where you are going. And you also have your flight number, your departure time, local time in Doha, and then arrival time local in Milan. There are a couple of codes here as well. As you can see, I called sick for 3 days, so that is sick, sick, sick. And then there is also what you call here, off, off right here. And then we have MOFF or management off. This is a requested off. It's a pre-approved off that I requested after having my baby so that at least every month I can go home. So as you can see, I have 5 days off block over there. And I also have what you call a standby where I don't have a flight, but for the time that you see here from 4 o'clock in the morning until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I have to make myself available just in case they would call me for a flight. Like if somebody calls sick or somebody misses their flight, I'll be the one who's going to take over that flight. Usually on your roster, because actually this is just a screenshot, like under this area, you would see your flying time. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna pull one of my older rosters just to see, just to show you how the flying time looks like. So this roster is from the old days of our rosters. Um, so as you can see here, I have leave. That is a code as well. Leave, 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 and then a day off. But what I wanted to show you here that I don't have in the other example is the block hours. So as you can see for that month, I'm flying for a total of 123 hours. Okay, you might think that this is a lot, but as you can see, my schedule is evenly laid out. I even have leave there, but I still have 123 hours. So a flight attendant typically flies 80 to 100 hours on average, but this is something that is exceptional. If there's a shortage of crew, perhaps more of the crew will be flying for a higher number of hours. My highest flying time is 140 hours in a month. But just to take note, my position during this time that this roster was printed, I was F1, a premium class flight attendant, or I worked in the business class and first class. And usually, the flight attendants who are in this position, they fly more compared to F2s working in economy because there's more F2s, and compared to cabin seniors and cabin services directors. So there you go, 123 hours. And you also have um, the code description of whatever is in your roster. Day off down route. Do I have it anywhere? I think that was there. You go. Like I have day off in Stockholm, as you can see there, and then I have annual leave after my Cairo flight. So that's 5 days, and then I'm entitled to one off after my leave, and then I have what you call rest. They will call it rest if your flight arrives if it arrives after 11:35 because it's not counted as an off anymore. They cannot count it as an off because this 11:35 is not the end of your duty. They will add 30 more minutes the after your landing just to give you enough time to sign off and get home. And by the time you reach home, it's already your off, so it's not legal. So instead of giving you an off like this one, they will give you rest. In real time, like if you're gonna go online, like for example, you're already a flight attendant, you can click on these boxes. And then once you click on this, you can see there's +1. It means that you have another flight after that. So that's gonna be Doha, Kuwait. And then after that, you have Kuwait, Doha. So it just gives you the information that there is another flight after that one. And same goes for this one. Okay, if you see this +1, it just gives you an idea that after you click on this one, it opens up a new page, and then it's going to give you more information about that flight. In real time, when you go online, you can simply click on whatever flight you want to see, and you're going to get all the information that you need with regards to that flight, your destination information, your hotel information, who are you flying with, what aircraft you're going to be flying, or what aircraft you're going to be utilizing for this said flight. So basically, it's not a simple calendar. It's very interactive, and whatever you need to know prior to your flight, it's going to be inside that box after you click that. Of course, it's going to be different with other airlines, but it's going to be very similar, but not exactly the same. Can you request to not fly on special occasions like birthday, anniversaries, Christmas, New Year? This one you will have to bid for leave. Some airlines, they would give birthday day off. Like if it's your birthday, automatic on your roster, it's gonna be marked as off. But for some airlines, it doesn't really matter. Now, for special occasions like Christmas, you have to request it ahead of time, because bidding for leaves usually is way earlier than how it is when you're bidding for next month's roster. Like for example, for us, it's divided summer and winter leave. So we usually have like 4 months before the publishing of the summer leave, you already have to request. Like you must request for your leave. Otherwise, you'll be given a random leave that you don't want. So if you wish to not fly on Christmas Day or New Year's Eve, you have to bid for a leave that falls on that day. And for me personally, I've been lucky for, I think, the last 6 years that I was with the airline, I would always get my September, which is the month of my birthday, and December for leave. So I would get 15 on September, and then 10 on December, and then 5 days somewhere else. Like I would request, because you're entitled to 30 days leave, 30 days annual leave. It's up to you how you would divide that, but it's divided 15 and 15 for summer and winter if you're working for Qatar Airways. And this is how it usually goes for other international airlines as well. So there you go. That's how our roster or our schedule looks like, and that's how it works. I hope it clarified your question, and I hope that once you start flying and you see your schedule, it's not gonna be overwhelming anymore, because you have already seen it and it's not that confusing anymore. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something on today's video. If you have any more requests for videos that you would like me to make, just let me know down in the comment section. This has been Days with Kath. I will see you next time. Bye!